Hi, this is the Daily Forex Report for September 12th. We're going to run through the U.S. Japanese yen pair first. This particular pair, as you can see, closed up on Friday. It did gap up a little bit. It's already retraced, but not sufficient necessarily for a gap trade. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways with a bias to the sideways. Look for it to potentially go as high as 84.97. Possibly as low as 83.13. Look for some resistance around 84.50 and look for some support around 83.75. Okay, now the Euro USD pair. This particular pair closed up on Friday, did gap up a little bit, has retraced, and looks like it's starting to head up. Overall moving sideways, bias to sideways. Look for it to potentially go as high as 128.20, possibly as low as 125.60. Look for some resistance around 127.75 and look for some support around 126.25. Okay, now the pound US dollar pair. This pair closed lower. It is moving sideways overall, biased to sideways. Look for it to potentially go as high as 155.45 and look for it to go down to 152.08. Look for some resistance around 154.75 and look for some support around 152.90. Okay, the U.S. Swiss. This particular pair closed up for the session. Have a nice little swing trade set up that pretty much blew through a lot of the areas of previous support in some cases, resistance in others, but did pull back down into the range before closing. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways. Look for it to possibly go up to 10338, possibly down to 10067. Look for some resistance around 10275 and look for some support around 10100. Okay, as far as news announcements go, there's no significant news announcements being released for tomorrow's session. We really don't get into anything until the next day. Now, what am I looking at? Well, we have a swing trade opportunity in the U.S., the Euro USD. This particular pair, if it moves to the downside, definitely we have a quick 10 pips to make before it hits this area of previous support. So you could look to grab just the quick 10 pips if you wanted to grab that scalp. You could go to break even at that point and see if it'll run down to that area as well. I'm not sure which direction that's going to go. The other play would be to take this high right here and look to buy right there, and then look to sell a quick little scalp there of about 11 pips. So in either direction we have a potential for a scalp, but you just have to be aware of the previous areas of support and resistance for those two scalps. So that's the main thing I'm looking at. Of course, you can drop down to, one good thing to do is drop down to the lower time frame. Once you have it set up this way, go ahead and drop down to, say, the hour time frame, zoom in, and that'll give you a lot better view as to where things are and what the market is doing on the lower time frame, so you can execute this trade maybe a little bit better than you would by strictly looking at the day time frame. That's a trick to grab profits and see things you normally wouldn't. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.